This one is super fun because it's very, very underrated. Everybody forgets to explain this to new people who are watching StarCraft or any real-time strategy game for the first time. And it's so, so impactful. It helps so much for a new viewer to understand the action in the game. I feel like I'm getting to give you this like fun secret to really help kind of coalesce everything that's happening and help you understand. The other fun part, we finally get to look at the game. I've been hiding it from you. I've been saying, okay, I don't want to overwhelm you. I don't want to, give you too much all at once. I don't want it to be too video gamey. We want to come at this from like a game design perspective. But finally, I'm gonna stop holding out on you. I'm gonna show you the game. Are you ready? You ready? Okay, here we go. So I have blacked out part of the screen here. I've blacked out a bunch. I don't want you getting overwhelmed. I want you to just take in this scene at the top of the screen here. We've got the sand, these rocks, we've got these blue crystals, there's like this yellow robot, there's all this stuff, right? And it's, pretty, there's nice textures and stuff here. And now what I want to do is draw your eye down to the lower left-hand corner. This part that you didn't want to look at because it's ugly, it looks like this weird radar view, it's, just not as appealing as the rest of the screen. And now I want to just talk a little bit about kind of what we're seeing here. So when we play a game of StarCraft, we play on a map. This is akin to like the board in chess or like a soccer field or a football field or a tennis court. The board that we play on when we play in StarCraft is called a map. So I'm going to call it a map from here on out. Now, the weird thing about StarCraft, the thing that was not possible in game design before the real-time strategy genre was invented and before computers were around, is this concept that what a player sees is scoped down, it's restricted. And that probably sounds weird, right? Like, well, when I play chess or something, or checkers, I can look down at the board and I can see the whole game state. Nothing is hidden from me. I don't have to do extra work to like look at this weird zoomed in view of it. That seems hard and unappealing. And why would you ever design a game this way? And you're absolutely right. It is weird and it is hard. And in fact, this is specifically intended to be a challenge and to force players to do task switching between different areas of the map that they're looking at. And this is intentionally difficult to be a skill differentiator between players that are not as good at real-time strategy games and players that are better. So let's look back at that map again, and I want to delve deeper and kind of make concrete for you this whole thing about the view being restricted, okay? So I have a second picture that I took where this little robot guy is going to move to the right of the screen. And I'm going to click back and forth between those two pictures so you can just kind of see the difference. So here we go, we're moving to the right. And we're going to move back to the left. And I'm going to just do that a couple times just so you can kind of see, look at the features of the map and see how they kind of shift, right? But you can still see that little concrete ramp and this little pillar of blue stuff. And you can kind of see the little yellow guys just jumping back and forth, right? Well, now I want to call your attention to one more thing, and this is the thing nobody ever explains, okay? It can be hard if I'm jumping around like this, like crazy, right? You don't know what's going on. Where am I in relation to the full map, right? Well, check this thing out in the lower left-hand corner, again, on that mini map. This thing with a red circle around it, okay? Right there. That little weird-looking parallelogram thing, that silvery parallelogram, that is showing you the piece of the overall map that we are currently looking at in that big pretty window up above. So now we're going to do that same thing. We're going to click back and forth and look at these two pictures. Instead of watching the little yellow robot guy moving back and forth, I want you to watch just that ugly parallelogram thing. I want you to watch that jump over to the right and back to the left, over to the right, back to the left. See how it kind of does that? So you can really just at a quick glance look for that little parallelogram thing, and that's going to tell you, okay, where in the world are we? There's this whole big map, right? And we're only seeing like 10% of it at a time. And the players are going to be jumping around like crazy. We're not going to get their view. We're going to get the view that is given to us by sort of a camera person. They're called an observer, and their job is to only look at the places where the action is most interesting. So you could think of this like if you've ever watched American football. there are all these different camera angles, and there's like a production team designed to show you what is most exciting or maybe the coolest shot, right? And so that's kind of what you're going to see if you watch some competitive StarCraft. You're going to be looking at a scoped down piece of the map, of the board, and you can see where that is if you look down at that minimap. In fact, if you want, you can watch the whole game right on that minimap. Just watch the blobs of color move. Bigger blobs of color means more stuff. That person's probably winning. And that's kind of your guide. That's your key. It's very easy to overlook, and it can be a bit unappealing because it's obviously less attractively designed than that 3D window with all the nice textures and stuff. But really, that is like your key to where am I, what's happening. Oh my gosh, we just jumped to a new screen and I was looking at a battle and like, what the heck, why am I looking at somebody's base now? You can at least figure out where you are. And hopefully it'll be a lot less jarring for you when that happens, because there is going to be some movement around the board to wherever the action is most interesting.